Hello again. It is our Monday math lesson. We are in day 2 of 5th grade material about decimals. Okay, so this lesson is going to be about thousandths on a number line. So we know that number lines represent how numbers go on forever and ever and ever, and we can get into, smaller and smaller numbers. Like we did in our warm-up, you can see tenths and hundredths and things like that. Really quick, just as a quick little review, and again, if you want to pause here and take these as notes just to give yourself a reminder, that's great, but I'm just talking about place value, okay? These are all left blank, but this is our ones place right next to the decimal point, right? That represents to us that everything is going to get smaller than 1, less than 1. We go tenths, then we go hundredths, and then we get to thousandths. So remember, going from 1 to 1/10, that's a tenth of 1. A hundredth is a tenth of a tenth. And then a thousandth is a tenth of a hundredth. Okay, and you can kind of see that because those zeros get added on each time. We're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So take those notes if you'd like. But we're going to get right into it. I'm going to show you a number line. Now, it's just a number line on my board with a point in purple labeled C. Okay, so what I want you to do is pause, create the same number line, take as much time as you need, and try and identify what point C in purple is on here. Okay, here we go. Pause here, get this written down. Okay, so let's discuss kind of what our number line here is actually representing. Well, I see that the numbers that are labeled on here are all to the hundredths place. And if we go back to what I said here, it's with the pink one there, they're all in this place value. Okay. I have 2 hundredths, 3 hundredths, and 4 hundredths. Okay. Now, to understand this, right, I'm actually just looking at a point between 3 hundredths and 4 hundredths. Now, visually looking at it, my point is pretty close to 4 hundredths. So I'm just going to keep that in mind while I'm identifying this point here. I notice that between 3 hundredths and 4 hundredths, there are 10 equal spaces. Now think to a little bit earlier, what is a tenth of a hundredth? Okay, a tenth of a hundredth is a thousandth. Let me kind of represent this to you in a different way. In orange, you're going to see this whole section represents a whole hundredth. Okay, look here. That is 1 whole hundredth. Hundredth, 0.01 is what I put here. That's a whole hundredth, okay? Now, in between, and then again, from 0.03 or 3 hundredths to 0.04, again, represents a whole hundredth. What we're looking at, though, is in between the hundredths, okay? So let me erase. I don't want it to get all crazy. Hold on. Now, if a hundredth is cut into 10 equal pieces, each one of those pieces is considered now a thousandth. A thousandth. If you think about like the green squishy, like you know, the models that I have, so the tenths are like one long rod and the hundredth is just the square. The thousandth is that cube. That's the thousandth. Okay, anyhow, every single, and I'm going to do this in pink, space between, you can see my little guy there, that is a thousandth. 1,000th is right here. This is a whole hundredth. This is a thousandth. So, a thousandth is a tenth of a hundredth. Keep that in mind, right? It's all about going by tens when we're doing decimals. But what I want us to think about now is the point C on this line, okay? Point C. Well, I know that it's going to be in between 3 hundredths and 4 hundredths. We already talked about that. So let's use our 3 hundredths kind of as like a starting point, right? We know that we're going to have 3 hundredths in our answer. Now I want to think to myself, how many hundredths am I going to add to, or no, how many thousandths, I mean. How many thousandths am I going to add to 3 hundredths, which I've written here in orange, to get to C? Well, let's count them together. Okay. Where I put that little pink, that would be 1,000. So that would be 31 thousandths. Okay, 32, 33, 6, 7. So I just counted, and I'm going to do this in pink, 7 thousandths. Now, don't think of it as 7,000 because we're not talking about the thousands place. We're talking about thousandths. Little tiny thousandths, okay? So I am adding to that to go from 3 hundredths to point C, 7,000. So here's how we write that is 0.007, okay? That's how I can represent this. That's actually an expanded form. So now you should be able to add those bad boys together, okay? And I'm going to do this in this darker green color. So finally, point C is the same as 37 thousandths, right? So there's nothing in the ones place, nothing in the tenths, but we have a 3 in the hundredths, 7 in the thousandths, 37 thousandths. Now, back to my kind of visual estimate we did earlier. 37 thousandths is pretty darn close to 4 hundredths, or it would be 40 thousandths, okay? But that makes sense. That's pretty logical for me. One more thing I want to tell you about, and then our lesson is over. You're going to go on con, is to always think about those invisible little zeros. They are always there. I kind of put it in blue here. So for instance, this is like 30 thousandths. Okay, that's an invisible zero, and then I kind of ran out of room, so I rewrote it in blue. This is like 40 thousandths. Doesn't it make sense that 37 thousandths would be in between those two, about right there? I think so too. All right, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you followed along. Now get on calm. See you later.